We ended our last session with putting in the clip path to our CSS. Now we're going to try to move them around. Right now the boxes is going from this, about this to this, and then the next one is again from this to this path here. So we want to manipulate its position right now so we can put them closer together. The first thing I want to do is I want to change how it's relating to each other. As of now, it's something called position relative, which means it's just relying on the box it's inside and the boxes next to it. What we want to change it to is something called position absolute, so we can control it a little bit more. Position absolute means that you have full control over it by using margin or something called top. But it also can create some weird effects if you're not used to using this, so be careful when using position absolute. I'm going to show you how you can use it. So in the first one, I'm going to add for all of these boxes here, boxes 1, 2, 3 and 4, we're going to add position. Now this is, as a default, it is relative, like so. So that's the default setting. We want to change this to absolute, and I'm going to show you what this actually does to the... So now you can see all of the boxes, well, three of them kind of disappeared, and also they didn't because they're just beneath it. So we have 1, 2, 3 and 4 lying on top of each other. So basically, this is the same when you're doing using Illustrator or Photoshop and so on. When you're using layers and manipulating, you can put them on top of each other. We can do the same with CSS. So position can do this for us, controlling where they are next to each other. That's the first part of this. Next part is we want to start moving them around compared to each other. So we're going to locate our first one. This is our box 1. That's kind of hidden right now, but we're going to use margin to move this one around. I'm going to use 0 top, 0 right, 0 bottom, and I'm going to give it 40 pixels to the left. I'm going to show you what this does to the design. So now you can see it's back here, this one. And again, we have this hover effect on the transition and clip path and shadow. That's why it goes nuts while we hover it. Second one, I'm going to also add to my box 2 a margin. And it's going to have a little bit more on its left side. That's what I wanted to go. So 0 top, 0 right, 0 bottom, 120 left. Now you can see it's over here. I'm going to continue doing this to each of these boxes so it fits. Now I'm going to add 150, just like so, but once I hit refresh here, you can see it's not complete. This is weird. Why did I do that? Right now I'm trying to move it again around, but I'm only moving it to the left, to the right. I actually need to move it down as well. So we're going to add some margin to the top as well. Now I'm going to start with 100 pixels to see what happens. Oops, I have to type it correctly to work. So this is a 100 pixels, and now it moves down a bit. The reason why this is not 40 like it is on the top one is because then the corners, that one up here, will be the same as the one at the bottom. But we need to get this design, we need this corner to be a little bit more left than the top one. So that's why I have put in 15 instead of the other one. Oh, sorry, yeah, 15. And last one, margin. We're going to do the same down here. I'm going to add 100. 0, 0 and 95. Now there's not a specific way to know these. You can test it or you can use math to calculate them from up here with your height width. But again, that's up to you which one you prefer. So right now they almost look like we wanted them to. Right here. We have a little bit more space here between the top and between all these. So we need to add a little bit more to our top margin here. Like so. So 5 pixels more, and let's test this again. So cool, now it looks like it's supposed to on this one, as you can see. So the next difference is we have a bigger banner text here, and we're quickly going to add this real quick because we already did this up here in our main where we just remove some items, and we're just going to put in a height in this one. So we're making sure that it actually scales up to the correct size. Now I'm going to add 400 pixels to this one. So main 400 pixels, save, refresh, And now I can go between and see, now they're the same size, and it will always be 400 pixels. So before we had an auto height, and because they were position relative, the system could figure out, okay, there's 1 and 2, so 200 pixels, I need to go at least 200 pixels. When we're using position absolute, it's only going to cut from one of the items. That's why it sometimes differs from height when using this.